They've had to wait a long time, but the Riverland Football League is ready to get cracking this weekend, along with the Independents, and ready and chafing at the bit, almost as though he's crunched the numbers and he's ready to bring his report, is accountant from BVMS, Chartered Accountants, Ben Venning. How are you, Ben?
Yeah, good, Wayne. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. The off-season scene, I reckon, probably the biggest movement ever in Riverland football. You know that there's movement about the place when you've got big names like Matty Min and Matt Spenceley, Big Nobes, all playing at other clubs this year.
Yeah, look, it's I guess it happens in every league, doesn't it, Wayne? And unfortunately, the league as a whole has lost a few good players from last year, and obviously we had a year off with COVID, and one of the leagues that didn't play, and they've moved on to other clubs, and I see Nobes is playing at South Adelaide in the league, so good luck to Big Nobesy. But also, as we'll talk about too, Wayne, there's quite a few players that have come back in, and some of these players that are coming back in are quite exciting. So, looking forward to seeing how they go this year.
All right, let's see how they go in the games. Loxton North are taking on Barmera Monash. Now, both these clubs have seen some mass movements, and out in the Fruit Grove, they play at North. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good day for football, so we'll wait and see whether there's a bit of wind out that way. But it looks like with both clubs, lots of changes.
It definitely has been, and I guess Barmera, this is technically their 100th year. They were meant to celebrate it last year, but obviously couldn't because we didn't play. They got some big names back in. Benny Fisher, who played 119 games at Westies League, he's back in this year. He's getting a little bit older. Benny, he's probably mid-30s, but he'll be back and handy for him. Big Mason Middleton's back as well, one of their local lads who played for West Adelaide in the league in the last couple of years, so he'll be a huge in for them, and no doubt will kick a lot of goals. And Lockie Middleton also back after a few years away. Matty Wilden's come back from Mildura as well. Butterworth, Aaron Manning's back, so they've got quite a few ins, Barmera Monash this year, and that should really strengthen them up. Loxton North, on the other hand, unfortunately, they've probably had a few more go out than come in, and I think you're going to find they might struggle a bit more than previous years. They've still got some great players in Joel Worsfold and Scotty. Pickles Arnold's back in. Old Pickles is probably nearly 40, so that probably gives an indication they are struggling a little bit number-wise. Big in for him is Lockie Henschke. He's been down at Karoonda, I think, the last few years playing, and he's back in, so he'll be handy for him. But look, I think overall they've probably gone backwards a little bit just on paper, but you never know until we play them, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. But it's hard to tip Loxton North, against them on their home ground, but just looking on paper at the moment with some of the ins that Barmera have got, I think I'm going to lead towards the Barmeroos and Mason Middleton to kick a bag. And
the Tigers at visiting Renmark up to Rover country. Rovers won the flag against Wakery back in 2019. The Tigers have been the big recruiters. They've got a couple of big names too.
Yeah, look, Tigers have been busy, and I guess we'll start with their coach, Dylan Millard, who's a great player who's played half-back for Barmera Monash for many years. He's come across as their coach, and no doubt will be playing as well. I see his name's here at half-back. So that's a huge in for them. They've also picked up a couple of boys, ex-Glenelg boys, the Evans boys, so they're going to be very handy for them as well. They've got Drew Kasolki back in as well. I see Raph Little's back playing as well, so that's good for them. Hopefully he can kick some goals. For Renmark, they've lost a couple of key people, like Jed Wolford, one of their big kickers, goal kickers in that 2019 Premiership win. He's out, but they do get back Trevor Thorpe, who's coming back from injury. They've also got back Gallard from West Adelaide, so he's going to be a handy in, and also Agostino, so a couple of big ins to Renmark as well. But looking through the sides, this should be a pretty good contest. Loxton have been a little bit off the pace in the last few years. They'll be looking to make that up this year, and I think that they'll go a long way with some of the recruits they've got. But I think for all round, when you look around the oval on Renmark, they've got a great side, and big Timmy Wolford in the middle there, Obst, kicking goals up forward. Jared Rose was injured for a couple of years there. He's back as well. So I think Renmark at home will be tough to beat, and I expect it to be a closer game than what it would have been a few years ago. But I still think they'll be too good and should have a win at home.
All right, is the dynasty of Wakery over? It was Renmark who made sure that they started perhaps the wobbles for the black and white. They come up against Berry in the first match. They've lost Big Nobes. They've lost Matt Spenceley to South Mildura, who I can tell you was playing in a win last weekend and kicked a couple of goals and was second best player. So, this is a real chance for Wakery. Have they been able to recruit enough to replace the good ones you've lost?
Yeah, look, it's been an interesting year at Wakery. We had Shane Stevens come back as coach, I guess for those who have followed it, he won 4 out of 5 premierships in the 5 years that he coached. So, to have him back is just a fantastic result for the club. He's gone out and he's basically replaced the 3 we lost. We did lose Matt Spenceley, as you talked about, Daniel Nobes, who's kicked 2 lots of 100 goals in 2 seasons. So massive, outs for our club. But he's replaced him with Mumford, Big Mummy, who played for Berry a few years ago. Mummy's been playing well in the trial games and kicking goals. So I guess Nobes out, Mumford in. And the other one is obviously Spenceley going out, and they've replaced him with a guy called Moons, Brendan Moons. And by all reports, he goes quite well and a similar player. So hopefully the ones we've lost we've replaced with similar type players and can fill that void. We're lucky to have Stephen Hoyser back from overseas. Lukey Exon's back at the club after a few years away down at Bordertown. He won our Best and Fairest back in 2012, so he's a handy in. We've got Benny Smith back. We've got a big ruckman and Matty Taylor recruited as well. Look, I think our side will be fairly similar to previous years. Whether Mumford can do what Nobes did and kick 100 goals, we'll wait and see. But I think you'll find the competition this year will be a lot better than what it has been too. So, for Berry, they've still got a big pumper Sutherland. Teesdale's a key hold for them to keep him playing. You got Brodie Thompson, who went and played for Centrals last year on the ruck, played 5 league games and obviously reserves. So he's back for him this year, so he should improve. Saf's still going around, so they've still got an okay side. But look, us on paper, I think we look pretty good, hopefully. And I guess at home, we're chafing at the bit. We had a huge crowd there Thursday night, probably our biggest Thursday night tea in a long time. And I think everyone's ready to go. So hopefully Saturday the boys can come and play some good footy.
It's a great first up round. Let's have a quick look at Independent and who plays who and what we can expect out of Independent senior football this year. And to start us off, Cod Dogler have got some new players and they take on one of the best sides in the comp, Sedan Cambrai.
Yeah, no, a great game this is going to be. Cobby the last few years really been struggling, recruited heavily, new coach. Martin Barber's come across from Berry, Josh Gilgan from Barmera, just to name a couple, but they've really, got some depth from that side now, and they should take it right up to Sedan. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't even surprise me if they get a win, Wayne, on their home, which is a massive turnaround for that club. So it'll be interesting to see what we find out Saturday night after the scores are released.
And Browns will play Blanchetown Swan Reach.
Yes, interesting game this one too. I know both sides have been struggling a little bit numbers-wise. One of my good mates is out there, Jimmy Shannon. He said he's playing in the midfield. He reckons they're pretty short. So, but I said they've still got Brycey Victor up forward and Braun in the middle. So Brownswell should still have a few out there running around. BSR recruited Anthony from Ramco. Kicked a lot of goals a few years ago. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Flip a coin on this one, Wayne. I'm going to go with Brownswell at home.
All right, and Baringa visit Ramco in their first match.
Yeah, Ramco have done well with their recruiting. They've got some key ins and they've even stolen a couple of players from Wakery.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be a lot better this year. And they've been up around the mark the last couple of years. So I think they've added that bit of depth that they needed. Young Weary, Cameron Hawke back in, and Conley as well. Paringa's always been a great side, as you know, always around the mark, so you expect them to come out tough and play some good footy. I'm going to back in Ramco at home, just to upset Paringa.
All right, it's a big first round of Riverland football. Great to have you back on board, Beaver Venning, for the Wakery Footy Club. We'll look forward to the scores coming through.
Thanks, Wayne.